guys, PLV here and welcome back for another video. Today me and J4CKO are breaking down our latest emotional progressive house track called Hold You. Before getting started, I just want to mention that I just released an ebook that contains a 1-year, month-by-month plan, step-by-step guide to level up your music production skills and jumpstart your music career with confidence. Never wonder again what to do next, just follow this guide. This is as easy as that. It covers pretty much all the aspects of the music production industry that you need to know. If you're interested, you can check out the first link in the description to learn more about it, but for now, let's start the video. So today I want to show you how we made the song, but also how we worked and how we collaborated together. I also want to give you a little backstory of the song and how it started, and also how I was able to get a collaboration with J4CKO. So back in April 2021, I actually had this idea.
And I'm breathless, waiting for you to save me. And it's only in my dreams that I get to hold you.
So as you can see, the soul of the song was already there, like the idea with the vocal being repeated in the echo behind, and just the mood and the vibe and the ambience of the song, the little cinematic drums, everything was pretty much already there. But after doing this, I was completely stuck on it. So being still a beginner at the time, I just decided to park it on my practice idea folder. And that was it. But fast forward 6 months and I was doing a Q&A on Instagram and someone asked me who was my dream collaboration. At the time I replied that it was J4CKO and I tagged him in the story. I wasn't really expecting anything from it, but a few minutes later J4CKO actually messaged me saying that he was in. So I was like, really? And he said, yeah, do you have an idea? Let's go for it. I really couldn't believe it at the time, to be completely honest, but I was like, alright, let's do it. PLV, you can't mess this one up. So I checked my idea folder and I felt that this one from April last year was quite a good idea and had some potential to turn into an emotional progressive house track that J4CKO likes to produce. So I sent it to him, he liked it, and we started working on it together. At this point, I sent him all the stems and the mini files of this project idea, and I will leave it to J4CKO to explain to you what he did with it.
Hello guys, my name is J4CKO and now I'm gonna show you the second version of the track Hold You. So I kept these stems of the first version.
And it's only in my dreams that I get to hold you.
So now I start making a new chord progression. Also I record this piano and reverse the sample. So that with the guitar that I also put it on the intro. Here's the filter. Then the sub bass. It's a bit dirty because I have like an R bass, so the bass sounds more fat. An EQ to clean the high frequencies. An OTT and two to balance. One is for the side chain on the break, another one is for the build up. Next sound that we have here is a pad. That is from Silent and Spiral. This one I have like an EQ, a really simple EQ. Then a piano plug with the plugin additive keys and have this processing. Next we only add some ambiances. Next we have like a kick with a volume automatization, then different effects and loops, some fills and more ambiances, also some reverse effects, more effects. And the same sample here, but this side is like reversed. So sounds like an uplifter. Then we leave here a space where we put like a sub drop. Then the next is the build up. Here for the sub bass we decrease it with an automatization. And the drop sounds like fatter sub bass. Then more effects. Then the snares have a pitch automatization and also like a volume automatization. Also, it's a cue to cut a lot of frequencies. Now the drop. Let's start with the drums. Simple kick of this compressor and an EQ. And then we have some claps and rides, effects, sound lifters, and ambiances. More claps, also fills and loops. And the next leads, I love to use Aspire. As you can see, here are like a dry channel. Then I have like a reverb send. I make this to have more control on the frequencies of the reverb, and in this way I can get a more clean reverb and sound. Here I have EQ, OTT, focus 1, then filter blood drive, overdrive, more EQ, and the P controller. So here I put the filter and also the balance and the sidechain. That's the processing of the leads. Then in the chords I consolidated this track, but this sounds like this. I use 2 pianos, silence, and another Aspire. Here I use filter parametric, another EQ, OTT, and the filter phaser. Then the mid bass. EQ, cutting the low and the high frequencies. Crossbeat, more EQ, and the blue tape step that is here, and the sub bass. I use a VX sub filter, plugin, and a fab filter to cut all the frequencies we don't want on the side, like in stereo, so we leave only the mono and the sidechain. So the entire drop sounds like this.
Alright, so once we were happy with the first part of the song, I got all the stems back from J4CKO and I worked on to finishing the full arrangement. So this is my final project. The first thing that I do basically is that once I received all this part from J4CKO, I basically copy-pasted it to make the second part of the song, and then worked on to adding some variations, some contrast by removing or adding new stuff, which I'm going to show you now. So I remember the first thing that I did is to work on the break, which is the part that links the last part of the drop to the second breakdown. So yeah, for this I just decided to use this little nice guitar plug sound because I thought it was great to link both together. I'll put the reverse piano, a reverse synth, the piano chords, and then also the orchestral drums that we have since the beginning. And then it goes to the second breakdown, and what I love these days to do is to add a muted guitar under everything else to add some kind of like a rhythm. The thing as well is that the vocals are from Splice, so it's never a full vocal, it's always like little bits here and there. So I had to like mix them and like match them all together. So I took these ones, which are called verse, and the ones called extras. Actually, the verse I think we didn't use for the first part, it was just the ones that were called chorus first. But we didn't really care because it was just working well this way. So this time I took the verse, which sounds like this. But also I added those, there was those extras that sounded like this. And I thought it was pretty cool to just have it here in the background as a ear candy. So I just put them both on the sides, and I also EQ'd them, like filtered them, and added a lot of reverb to have like this little telephone effect almost, but like very, like to put it back in the mix. So it just keeps the vocals interesting in between a break in the verse. So then after, I also wanted to do something different to the kick, because usually most of the progressive house in the second breakdown, after the break, they just goes into this filtered kick, you know, to like continue the energy. But I don't know, I wanted to do something different, so I put a kick, but just not all the times, all the beats, just here and there. So here we're arriving to like the pre-build-up, as I called it, and I wanted to have a little break just to bring some variation and dynamic contrast, so that it's not just boom, 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 you know, and going, so that it goes a bit up and down in the energy. So for this, I cut the kick, I cut some of the other drums, I just kept the snap and the percussion loops, and I also cut some of the melodic elements, and I did some. So I added this voice effect here that J4CKO did. But just see, so not too busy, just a like little bit of melodic elements, and then for the build-up I bring everything else, and also I add something new, which is this guitar strum here. I think there's this high note string as well, just to start raising up the energy. And I also start to introduce the filtered kick. Kind of like not the snare roll yet, like not the build-up snare roll yet, but just the filtered kick to really start raising the energy. But it's hopeless, hoping for you. What I also wanted to do is again using those contrasts in the dynamics. So for this I also cut everything at the end here of the pre-build-up, just for the last 4 bar with an impact. And I do the same at the end of the middle of the first build-up. And now I start the build-up with the actual snare roll, which is here. And what I did as well is that I didn't want to have the same build-up that we had in the first build-up. So for the second build-up, I basically copy-pasted the build-up twice. So like it's 16 bars instead of 8. And what I did is, so what was the first build-up was here. Stop. And then I just put the lead melody as a piano sound, not the lead sound, just a piano sound, to start raising more the energy and having this very emotional piano melody playing that will get you into the drop. And what I did is that, as you can see, I have automated the volume and EQ cutoff frequencies to start disappearing, like the lead piano sound is disappearing as the drop arrives here, and the actual leads are taken over as the drop arrives, so like they blend together, like the piano becomes the lead sounds. And then the outro is just like a quick fade out with some crashes over here, impact, some ambience, and that's it. So now that we had our full arrangement and full song done, we needed to mix it and master it, and for this will be J4CKO who will explain you what he did.
Now I'm going to show the mastering process that I made for the track. First, I decrease the volume here, and let's start with the ProQ. So, what this plugin does is it records the waveform of this track. So now it will record the waveform. We just need to record a few seconds, and here we record the reference. So I do the same, I put clear and capture.
Hey guys, PLV here for a few seconds. To explain more what this plugin does is that once you analyze both your current song in blue and your reference song in orange, you can then use an EQ or any other plugin to match the curve perfectly and achieve the best frequency spectrum possible. Now back to the video.
Then I add another awesome, this another EQ, a simple EQ, and I just focused on the major. I'll leave all the low frequencies on mono, the low mids on a bit, I made it a bit wide. and the highs the same, a bit wide. Then I use this plugin to give a bit more of low end because Ensis asked that the mastering needs more low end. And then I add this plugin. As you can see, I just put a bit of sub bass. I increased the low frequencies here because I already increased it with the sub filter, and I increased it more on the high frequencies. Then I use this FAB filter Pro L2 for the peaks to 0 dBs. And it already sounds great. Then the compressor. So I use this plugin. The point of this is I usually start here. And as you can hear, is saturating. So I decrease this knob until it doesn't sounds this clipping sound. And here was great. Then I use this maximizer, and then I used these two plugins, Yulin Loudness Meter, to check the loops and the plugin span. As you can see, here are the low frequencies are almost in the same place that the high frequencies decreasing and here growing up. So that's the mastering process that we made on this track.
So there you go, this is how we made Hold You together with J4CKO. To be honest, I am really happy of how it turned out. It's super emotional. I think both of our styles mixed together really well. It was also an awesome collab to collab with him. The collab was super smooth and super fast, so that was awesome. I hope that you were able to learn a few things from this breakdown, and if you want more music production tips, you can watch this video here where I show you 50 music production tips in 5 minutes. In the meantime, keep learning and I'll see you next week.